Good morning, students. Today we will be dealing with the bioassay part of a plant growth regulator, that is auxin. As we all know, plant growth regulators, they are basically the growth substances. Now, how are these plant growth regulators different from the enzymes that we talk of? The basic difference between the plant growth regulator and enzyme is that plant growth regulators, they regulate different physiological activities, whereas enzymes, they participate in particular reaction of a physiological process. So these plant growth regulators, since they act as signals, they only regulate it. So they are required in very less quantity. They are organic molecules and they are generally translocated from the site of synthesis to the site of action. That is, they are synthesized in one part of the plant and they regulate the physiological activity at some other part of the plant. I've used the term generally. So ethylene is the exceptional plant growth regulator whose site of action is the same as the site of synthesis, because it is basically concerned with the ripening of the food. That is its basic physiological activity. So major groups of plant growth regulators, as we all know, they are the auxins, the gibberellins, the cytokinins, abscisic acid, which is a growth retardant, and the gaseous plant hormone, that is ethylene. Now, basically what is meant by bioassay या biological assay? Biological assay means testing for the presence of a given chemical, in this case the plant growth regulator, using a biological system. And when we use a biological system, what we mean is that the physiological effect that is demonstrated by the chemical, that is the plant growth regulator, will be obviously shown by the biological system that we are taken. So by definition, the biological assay, they are extremely sensitive. That is, very small amount of the plant growth regulator is also capable of giving the result of the test. They are very specific because we are testing for a particular specific plant growth regulator, and this test is based on the physiological role of the hormone that we are going to test. Now, a bioassay, basic thing that we ought to keep in mind while conducting a bioassay is it should be conducted easily and readily detectable observation ought to be there. Today we'll be dealing with the bioassay of the basic plant hormone, the phytohormone auxin. We know that auxin is involved in every aspect of plant growth and development, like the various responses to the environmental factors, the response to light, that is the plant that grows towards light or the root grows away from the light, or the response towards gravity, how the cells, they elongate in the zone of elongation in the apical meristem, the vascular development part. Basically, majority of the intrinsic growth dimensions and the environmental responses of both the root and shoot, they are regulated by this phytohormone. So in text, 4 bioassays they have been highlighted for this auxin. The first is the Avena coleoptile curvature test. The second is the split pea stem curvature test. The third is the Avena coleoptile section test, and another one is the cross root inhibition test. Now we will be dealing with the two basic bioassays in today's lecture. The first one is the Avena coleoptile curvature test. Now, what is the principle? Means this test is based on what concept or the role of auxin. The basic concept is that auxin, it governs or regulates the elongation activity of the growing plant in the meristematic region. It is based on the polar transport of auxin. Polar transport means that the auxin, it always moves from the apical region towards the basal region. And the second point that has to be kept in mind while observing or understanding this test is that the movement of auxin is away from the light, that is towards darkness. So if auxin is applied on only one side of the stump, in this case we will be taking the coleoptile of the Avena, so it will diffuse or down only on that side, and the side that will have a greater concentration of this auxin will have greater elongation of the cells. So the coleoptile or the seedling, it will move away from the side on which the auxin is applied to. So in order to perform this test, Avena seedlings, they are germinated and grown in dark. Etiolated coleoptiles, they are obtained when we grow the seedling in the dark. Etiolated means they are more elongated. The first thing that is done is removal of 1 millimeter of the extreme tip of the coleoptile. This is followed by the second decapitation, that is removal of 2 to 4 millimeter of the tip of the decapitated coleoptile. Now this is being done because the site of synthesis of auxin is the apical part, the tip region of the coleoptile. Then after, the primary leaf is removed and its tip is removed. We are basically concerned with removing the natural source of auxin in the growing seedling. Now we will place the auxin containing gelatin block on this amputated tip of the seedling. The only source of auxin available with this Avena seedling is the gelatin block that we are placing. So the tip, it always bends away from the side on which this gelatin block is placed. That means the side on which this gelatin tip is placed will show more growth, and this Avena will curve away from the side on which this tip is placed upon. Now the second test is the split pea stem curvature test. Here also the cell elongation activity of the auxin is concerned. The differential elongation activity of auxin in the epidermal cells and the cortical cells, that forms the basis of this particular bioassay for auxins. So what we do is, this time we take pea seeds, germinate them for about 8 days in dark again. Now the benefit of using etiolated seeds is that the length of the axis is more, and that will be of help in performing various tests. These seedlings, they are exposed to 3 hours of red light per day so that the growth is a healthy growth. Then after, section about 1 centimeter long between the second and the third internode is removed and we use it. Since it is the etiolated seedling, the length of this internode will be sufficient to suffice for our purpose. So these sections, they are then soaked in distilled water for about 1 hour. The stem section, they are then slit longitudinally as is shown in the given diagram, and these slit stem sections, they are placed in the Petri plate, which contains about 25 milliliter of auxin solution. Now again, when we prepare the auxin solution, since auxin is not easily soluble in water, so first we dissolve it in a bit of only a few drops, a few milliliters of alcohol, and then we dilute it. The concentration has to be low enough, and then this experimental setup is incubated for about 6 hours. This will result in the curvature of the shoot tip, and this curvature recorded will be in proportion to the logarithm of the concentration of the auxin that we take. This curvature is because of greater growth of the epidermal cells under the influence of the auxin solution as compared to the cortical cells. So this again confirms the presence of this phytohormone in the given solution. Now these are the basic 2 bioassays that are used for this phytohormone auxin, and similar bioassays, they are there for other phytohormones also, that we'll deal with in the coming classes. So for the present class, thanks for the patient listening. You may consult basic physiology books like Plant Physiology by Pandey Sinha or Plant Physiology by Devlin Witham, Nogel Fritz. The other standard books, they are the Buchanan, the Plant Growth Regulators by Artica, and other books that you may come across may also help you to deal with this particular content. Thank you.